YouTube, Twitter. What up? What up? What up? Y'all let me know what city you chiming in from. Drop your name in the chat. Drop your business in the chat. Today, we're going to talk about why most of the stuff that we learned was bullshit. What up, John? Why most of what you learned was bullshit. So y'all already know. We'll get started here in a minute. Peace, pretty young goddess. We got Kansas in the house. Chi-Town. We got Memphis in the house. Crown Capital Management. That sounds like a lot of money already attached to that. Phases of Women from New Haven, Michigan. Welcome. Y'all make sure y'all share this live with several people. Here is why everything you learned was bullshit. If my mother's on here, I apologize for saying bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But mama already know. Sometimes it's how we got to communicate with each other. We got Sacramento. We got Phoenix. We got Tampa. Duck Out Enterprises. Or Enterprise, I apologize. Out of Kansas City. Let's get it. Let's get it. What up, fam? Derek Smart, what up? Tulsa, Oklahoma. I got some family out there. Crown, what up, bro? Hey, make sure y'all share this. Here is why everything you learned is bullshit. We always got Vegas in the house. What up? I think that's Denver. So thank you for the badge, pretty young goddess. Appreciate you. Thank you. So wanted to go in today because one of the many things that I keep hearing as I'm speaking to people is that, people, are feeling stuck. And with all of the mayhem that's taking place right now, what up, Brian? Everything that's going on, we got the economy looming, as I call it, the economic Black Friday sale. We got the recession happening. Interest rates money itself is getting more expensive. And when money gets expensive, we have to be more savvy. We have to be more astute. We have to be more in alignment with the things that they have not taught us. So that's why I said, here's why everything that we learned was bullshit. See, we were always told, go to school, get good grades, to get the good job, have 2.5 kids, the white picket fence. Like, we were sold a pipe dream. We were sold a pipe dream. But more importantly, the pipe dream was not even about the process of what it should look like. The pipe dream has been the lifestyle that was sold. But see, here's what they've done to people. They sold the lifestyle for you to continue to be consumers. And if you guys see me kind of looking at multiple screens, because I have my computer for streaming on YouTube and then, of course, Instagram. They sold us a lifestyle to become consumers. So I talked a little bit about this in my last live where I said, how can we, if we were to sit back and just analyze, like right now I'm teaching my son how to critically think. And there are several indicators that is involved with critical thinking. And so in order to critically think, to be able to make an informed decision, you have to know what is fact and what is opinion. What is fact and what is opinion? Okay. So now when we peel the layers of that onion back, of fact and opinion. Okay. If we look at the patterns of life, so take however old you are and look at the patterns of existence that's been around you. So that means taking inventory of your parents, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your day ones, your fake cousins, your boos. Like, take inventory of everybody around you. Look at the patterns of their life, and then start to decipher what is fact and what is opinion when you start to make decisions about your life. See, people don't realize that thinking involves knowing what is fact and what is opinion. Now you may be saying, well, Will, what does this have to do with them selling us bullshit? Everything that they've been selling us, everything that they've been teaching us has been opinion based. They've conditioned people, they've conditioned us to look at what is lifestyle, what is success, what is this, and that's all opinion. We live in a world where all you have to do is borrow somebody's clothes, stand in front of somebody else's car, take your 1 week's earning of a paycheck, flash a couple dollars, take some pictures, and now that person can tell anybody that they are a guru in any subject that they want to sell somebody something in. That's an opinion. Why is it an opinion? Because there's no data to back that up. But because we've been sold the lifestyle living as opposed to abundance living, it's hard to make the decision which one is the path that you should take. We have more people who are being jammed up, spending their last dollars out of a place of desperation, chasing the lifestyles. You can't make a decision effectively if you don't know how to critically think between what's fact and what's opinion. Now, what does this have to do with the economy? What does this have to do with money? What does this have to do with wealth? First of all, I need us to start normalizing talking and dialoguing on high level shit. Let's first of all normalize that. Secondly, we need to start normalizing talking about money. That's a fact. So when we're talking about making decisions about what's fact and opinion, so we can make an educated and informed decision, we have to start having these dialogues and talking about money. Unfortunately, we don't never like to talk about money unless we're bragging about somebody else's money. And it's usually somebody else who is far removed from our circle. Most people will never, ever, ever have the opportunity to rub elbows with the 50 Cents and the Jay-Z's and whoever else people admire these days. And so we relinquish our responsibility that we made to our families to talk about other people's accomplishments. And we don't even support our own friends and family's accomplishments. I find that ironic. So what's fact and what's opinion? How do we make informed, educated decisions? And first we have to start learning, and I'm going to keep talking about this. I'm going to over talk about this. First, we have to start understanding thinking is the most important element of decision making. If you don't think about money, and when I say let's talk about money, not even from the standpoint of being a capitalist, but let's not act like we don't need money to survive. And when people want to challenge me on that, I always say, well, go work for free. Go work for free and see how long that lasts. Your paycheck short $3. You ready to go find the CEO. So let's first normalize having these type of dialogues. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but I quickly learned that there's a difference, because see, uncomfortable, I think, is a bit difficult for people to stomach. It's hard for people to stomach being uncomfortable. So I'm actually going to change the dialogue and say we need to start learning the difference of what has been unfamiliar to us. Not, I'm going to stop saying uncomfortable. I'm going to start saying what has been unfamiliar to us. What's been unfamiliar to a lot of us is money. What's been unfamiliar to us is economics. What's been unfamiliar to us is ownership. What's been unfamiliar to us are all of these things that they have not taught us about, which is why I say here's why everything that we learned has been bullshit. They've sold us the poverty mindset. It reminds me of a time, this was around 2002, 2003. And I was at work with some friends at the time. And these two guys were sitting in the break room arguing about who went to jail the most, who got shot at more times, and who almost died and came back to life. Like, these are the type of dialogues that have been normalized within our communities. We've normalized bottom level shit. We normalize being petty. We normalize just pick something that's bottom level shit. We normalize these things. But as soon as we start talking about all of the things that we've been saying we want to talk about, we often say, hey, we need more black leaders, and we need people in the communities, and we need this, and we need the bullshit. All because of the decisions that we usually lack in making, or that we don't know how to make because it's unfamiliar to us. There was an experiment done where there was somebody going out handing out gold bars, like real gold, in the hood. And they would say, man, I don't even believe that's real. Now, granted, we've all heard the term, if it's too good to be true, it probably is not good, or whatever that statement is. But here's the thing. We're so used to having a losing mentality. When something is good, we don't even know how to identify it. Again, because it's unfamiliar to us. One of the biggest minorities are winners. People don't know how to win. And when they do get a win, they sabotage it. Whether it's a good relationship, whether it's a good opportunity, whether it's a good business opportunity, like, people sabotage when they're actually winning. Think about it. With, like, business partners can't work, like, all types of things, it always gets sabotaged. But it all goes back to not knowing how to think. Because we've been sold lifestyle as opposed to abundance. I have this that I wrote down years ago in one of my journals, and I'm gonna read it to you guys. Thoughts about thinking. Thoughts about thinking. Welcome if you just joined in. Please make sure y'all share this. Thoughts about thinking. Everything begins with a thought. So when you have been sick and tired of being sick and tired of your circumstance, that is a thought. But here's the thing. Your situation will never change until you have the actual thought of making the change. Because I know people who've been waking up living in financial purgatory for 50 years, for 60 years. And they complain about it day after day after day after day after day because they don't have the thought to make a change. They have an idea. It's a big difference. They have an idea, but they have not had the thought to make the change yet. I ran across a woman that couldn't believe I had the credentials that I have achieving without a baby mama. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's hard for people to fathom a lot of things. A lot of us ain't uncomfortable enough yet. That is true. That is true. I often say rock bottom will force you to have a thought about change. But unfortunately, most people haven't hit rock bottom. I know people who've lost their job, but as long as they can sleep on somebody else's couch, they're comfortable with that. So that's not their rock bottom yet. Some people have to lose everything. And I'll prove it to you. A lot of times people will not change their health situation until the doctor tell them you have X amount of months to change how you are eating, get in the gym, work out, go walking, or you will die. That ultimately becomes their rock bottom. And then that's when they have the thought of change. I hit rock bottom. That's what Phase of Women is about. Absolutely. I love that. You have to find out what your rock bottom is that is going to motivate you to get your ass up and deal with being unfamiliar. I'm not going to say uncomfortable. What is it going to take for you to face being unfamiliar? What we think determines who we are. What we think determines who we are. I've gotten on the phone with people who will tell me about what they want to accomplish, and they're like, but I don't even think I can do that because I'm a single mother. So we have to stop learning to become our circumstance. Oh, I'm a single father. I'm a felon. I'm a single mother. I'm divorced. I filed bankruptcy. I dropped out of college. I did this. We have to be very careful of speaking into existence based upon our circumstance. Because I often tell people, your circumstances should be what makes you move. Well, the reason you need to make a change is because you're a single mother. The reason you need to make a change is because you're a 2-time felon. The reason you need to make a change is because you're recently out of bankruptcy. You recently lost your job. But here's what hinders people. Because did you guys know that the brain cannot detect negative thoughts? See, we've been so conditioned to operate out of feelings. This is where that whole emotional intelligence comes into play. We've been conditioned to operate out of feelings. So we have to start learning that the brain can only identify motion, not emotion. The brain identifies motion. And here's what I mean. So in 2003, I thought I was going to retire from this company. And one day the doors were shut. And so I was working there for 8 years. The company shut down, the whole nine. Now, here's where your thoughts have to change, where we got to start learning how to create thoughts of change. Okay. So now 99% of the people who I worked with at that company at the time, back in 2003, most of them are still trying to pick up the pieces of their life. They have not rebound. Why? Because they had an emotional reaction to that situation. And rightfully so. You lost your job. You got bills. You got big houses. You got big car payments. You got like big bills. You got big bills. Let's just put it like that. People had big bills. So their emotion drove their thoughts to focus on what the circumstance is. So then you take me, and my motion was, okay, I had to have a different thought process. And I didn't learn this until I got further in my career. And as I look back, I often tell myself that was the best thing that could have happened to me. It it was a rock bottom for me that gave me a thought, because I had dropped out of college, didn't know what I was going to do. At one point I had to move back in with my parents, but I think back and I'm like, man, if that had not happened in 2022, I potentially would still be working at that company making $22 an hour. If that had not have happened. But if I had drowned my sorrows in my circumstances, if I had been comfortable just staying in my parents' basement, I would still be stuck in that place. But I had a thought to want something different. See, most people get so wrapped up in their thoughts of the circumstance and the emotion, they don't have the motion. And our brain has played a trick on us because we operate in a deficit of emotional intelligence so often we don't even understand that motion you feeling is fictitious. So we have to learn how to operate in motion, not emotion. Who we are determines what we do. Who we are determines what we do. So it reminds me of someone who came to me and they wanted to write books. They want to write a book. And I asked them, I said, so do you want to write books or do you want to become an author? And they didn't know what I meant by that. And I said, here's the difference between just writing a book or two and being an author. You become your purpose. Somebody write that down, type that in the chat. You have to become your purpose. Who we are determines what we do. If you want to be an author, that's going to determine your drive. Do you want to just buy some houses, or you want to be a serious and successful real estate investor? Do you just want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to be a business owner? See, when Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman, he became his purpose. See, for some of you who may not know, when we called ourselves entrepreneurs in the early 2000s, we were frowned upon. Now the word entrepreneurship is glamorized. But here's the thing. I'm about to change you guys' perception here. Being an entrepreneur means you just bought yourself a job, because you're going to work harder than you did on your 9 to 5. And statistically, you're not going to make any money. So we have to be very careful in the language. So do you just want to be an entrepreneur, or do you want to be a businessman, a business woman? So we have to become our purpose. The goal has to become the purpose. Who we are determines what we do. So figure out what is your purpose within it, what it is you're looking to accomplish. I have several. I will be one of the biggest speakers in the world. These are my affirmations, what I tell myself. We'll become one of the biggest real estate investors. Like, we have to become that and walk in that. I want you guys to envision that and tell yourself that, and know that it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. And a lot of the work is working on self. I appreciate that, Gax. A lot of the work is working on self. Our thoughts determine our destiny. Our thoughts determine our destiny. Most people don't even have a goal. When somebody tells me, oh, my goal is to be financially free, that tells me that they've been lazy in their goal setting. When somebody tell me, oh, I just want to be whatever people tell me. If your goals doesn't have an actual exclamation to it, how do you even know what you're going for? A homeless person is financially free. They don't have any bills. People incarcerated are financially free. Depending on how long they've been incarcerated, their debt has been removed. They don't owe anybody unless they have restitution. So we want to be very explicit in what our goals are, because then our thoughts determine our destiny. So if you're saying my goal is to become financially free, you could end up homeless and now you're financially free. So we have to be very careful with that. I will be one of your biggest success mentees, Story. Absolutely, Crown. You already there, bro. You already there, man. You already there. And we business partners. So I appreciate you, man. So when somebody tell me their goal in life is to be financially free, that lets me know they really don't have a goal. They're lazy. Everybody type in the chat, lazy goals. After tonight, no more lazy goals. No more lazy goals. Type in the chat, lazy goals. Because I don't want you guys to have lazy goals anymore. Destiny determines our legacy. Destiny determines your legacy. So where you're going, that's going to determine the legacy. Everybody's saying they want to leave a legacy. We want to build generational wealth. Again, and I'm speaking this dialogue to you guys to normalize that we've been sold bullshit. Most people don't even know how long generational wealth is. That means forever. If your way of leaving generational wealth is working hard at your job, and no disrespect to people working a 9 to 5, because I believe you should keep your 9 to 5 as long as you have to and as long as you can. But that's not generational wealth. And here's why. And I'm speaking to my people in my community, my black and brown people. If something happens to you and you can no longer work, the money stops. And statistically, most black and brown households don't even have life insurance. So how can you leave generational wealth because you work hard at your job? Again, that's a lazy goal to say generational wealth when you're not working on anything that's going to set up that's going to set something up to leave money for generations. So now you're not walking with you. So now your destiny can't become your legacy because you're not even walking within your purpose. And this is why I try to refrain from using words like, oh, I'm just trying to get money, or any of these cliches that they've sold us. Because now if your goal doesn't become a part of your purpose, if all you're saying is, oh, I just want to get money. Well, guess what? If that's your only focus, you can make money, but you can only make money in spite of you, which means you got to work forever. I don't want to be in that position. I want to be able to wake up on a Wednesday morning and fly to wherever I want to fly in the world at the drop of a dime. And I'm not worried about airline price tickets or hotel stays. Because at one point there was a time when I literally had to hitch a ride to go out of state. I can remember when I was a part of network marketing and we had to go to Oklahoma City for a convention, and I had to ride with a car full of half strangers. I stayed in a room with 10 other people, and you can only imagine the bodily scents that room smelled like. And so, but as long as your focus is only to make money or to get this bag and do all of these cliches that they've conditioned us to have, you will always have to work for money. I don't work for money. I don't. I stopped years ago. I now let my money work for me. So when you see me and talking about credit, I'm not getting credit just to say I got credit and so I could post on the internet and flex and tell people and make them think I'm a credit repair expert or business funding expert. And I'm saying I'm being funny to the millions of people that do that. When I'm getting credit, essentially I'm saying, hey, I now have a line of credit that I can use to go buy an asset that's going to make me money every month. Let me show you how to do that. My money makes me money. Whereas we've been conditioned to learn how to work for money. Here's why everything we've learned is bullshit. We've been conditioned to work for money. And we hear terms like, you got to work hard. You got to do this. You got to get up at 4 a.m. and stay up to mid. If I wake up early, it's because I'm going to yoga class. If I'm waking up early, it's because I want to run out to the beach, or I got an early morning flight. But I'm not getting up early just because. Now, granted, I do wake up early, but I don't wake up early to get to the grind. My waking up early is to get this right first. So the first half of my day, I don't take phone calls before 10 a.m. My first half of my day is me meditating, me writing my goals, me reading my book, me working on my breathing exercises, me going to the gym, even if I can't go to the gym, I'm doing a walk in my weighted vest. I'm doing something that is productive for the destiny of Will Roundtree. So when I talk about your destiny determines your legacy, this is where the term health is wealth comes into play. The first part of your day should be you working on you. It probably change. People who go to the top think differently. See, what's the word I'm looking for? People get intimidated by people who think differently. I've probably lost a lot of friends. Like, true story. So I remember when I first, cause I'm kind of new to social media. For anybody who knows me personally, I'm more of an introverted person than anything. And, I never really was a big social media person, and I really didn't start utilizing social media until I decided to take my callings more serious. And so when I started to get back on like Facebook and all of this stuff, all my old classmates were following me, relatives, and but now if I go through that list, all of them have either blocked me or stopped following me. Like, it's interesting. And I used to be like, man, like, what? Why are people blocking me and following me? I don't post smut. I don't post crazy stuff on my page. I'm not throwing sneak disses at people. I'm not using it to air out my personal, I don't do any of that stuff. But then I had to learn people are intimidated by people who think differently. See, if you vibrate at a high level, that scares people. To my kings and queens, if you're in the dating world, vibrate high. Keep your frequency vibrating at a high level, and you're going to emit something that people who on bullshit not even going to come your way because your frequency is too high. That intimidates people who are bottom feeders when it comes to negativity. People are attracted to negativity. But when you don't feed the beast of negativity, you actually rid a lot of that energy. My phone doesn't ring. Most of the time it's on D&D. But I don't get a lot of phone calls personally because my frequency, my hustle, my drive, my ambition intimidates the average person who vibrates at a low frequency. This is why you can't put an FM station on the AM platform. The frequency doesn't even align. So when you vibrate high, you keep bullshit away from you. When you see somebody who's always in bullshit, I don't care how polished they look online, is because their vibration is very low. They're just showing you who they think you guys want to see. It's called their dark and their light mask. Most people have two masks. And most people show the light mask. I'm going to do a whole nother one on that. So y'all just tune in for that. People who go to the top think differently. This is why they say it's lonely at the top, because people are intimidated by winners. The reason people have a problem with winners is because their frequency is too low. You don't even like, for those on here who vibrate, at a high level, you ever been around somebody and they just seem nervous all the time when they speaking to you? That's because your frequency too high. You done scared them into submission of not even wanting to be around you. And I'm cool with that because my peace is the most important thing to me. People come by my house, they're surprised at how quiet it is because peace. I like peace. When your frequency is high, you rid bullshit away. I'll give y'all that one for free. So when you go on your next date, whoever's out there in the dating world, just make sure before you leave the house, you turn your vibration of yourself all the way up, and you'll see it, that person at the other side of the table shaking like a crack game. Your frequency too high, and keep it there, King. Keep it up there, Queen. Of thinking. Thank you, Melly. Shout out to my brother Melly. Yo, he working on this custom something for me. Yo, I'm looking forward to seeing it, bro. Catching feelings should be on 1,000 ways to die. All right, 7 levels of thinking. I'll go through these quickly. The first one is effectiveness, doing the right thing. When people often say, oh man, I'm out here grinding. And I'll be like, no disrespect, but you've been grinding for 10 years and you're in the same position. Is it effective? More than likely it's not. And so one of the things when I'm working with people, my focus is I work with people to help them with the correction. See, mentorship helps you to correct what's not working. Mentorship isn't about you being able to leave your job and making $1 million. Because guess what? If you don't correct what's not working, you will never leave your job nor make even close to $1 million. You won't even make an extra $10,000 if you don't fix and you're not effectiveness, and your effectiveness is not good. So when I'm working with someone one-on-one, my thing is I'm looking to find what is not working so we can correct it. Excuse me. So we can correct it. I'm thinking of 2 words at once. So the effectiveness, doing the right thing is important. Next, efficiency. That was the word I was thinking of. Secondly, doing things right. How efficient are you at doing the necessary things you need to do to move the needle? Most people, they're not good at all. And here's why. Because it's unfamiliar. Please tell me, how can you run a business if you've never ran a business? It's unfamiliar to you. Yes, you can learn by just getting out there, but are you working effectively? Is it efficient? What you're doing to your business, is it efficient? Most of the times it's not. But we're because again, I'm gonna make us a little bit unfamiliar with some of this language, but because we're so used to celebrating low-level shit, we're happy that we just set up the LLC and nothing is even working because nothing we're doing is efficient. I often say I don't applaud people who set up a business. I applaud people who keep going. Let me see if you're going to still be posting about your business in 2 years, in 4 years. Those are the people I applaud. I don't applaud people who jump on every single bandwagon of whatever is going on or the latest and greatest lick that's about to happen or that's taking place. I don't applaud mediocrity. Is it efficient at what you're doing? And most of the time it's not, because we have no experience in running a business. Did you guys know you can curve your learning curve through mentorship? You cut your learning curve in half. You get to your success point a lot quicker. Shout out to my brother Crown, who's on here. This man whole life done upgraded after he started mentoring with me. to the point to where he's going through everything that I'm talking about on this live right now. His friends probably start acting fun. Like we all are going to go through it. And I was telling him this as he was manifesting everything he said he was doing. But see, Crown's manifestation, he actually was efficient with what he was doing, which is why even though he's my videographer when I'm traveling the country, he still invested in the information. He didn't say, Will, I know I could watch all your stuff, but I still need to make sure that what I'm doing is efficient. So I'd rather pay you to get the information so you can help me with the correctness so I can now have the effectiveness of working properly and not just watching a bunch of free shit. Because you get what you pay for. Let me just put it that way. Improving, doing right things better. Are you improving as a business owner? Are you improving as a CEO? Are you improving as a real estate investor? For a lot of people, it's no, and I'm gonna prove it to you. I've been screaming about home ownership for the past 5 years. I've been screaming about being a buy and hold investor. I've been screaming about how to leverage your credit. I've been screaming all of these things for years. But because people were more impressed with the opinions of real estate as opposed to the facts, now you got a bunch of real estate investors who only flip, who are losing their shit right now. Redfin just shut down their entire division of flipping. Open Door, Zillow, all of these companies who were flipping are losing money. So here's the fact. Remember, I talked about at the top of this slide, the difference between fact and opinion. If you're a single person flipper, how in the hell can you survive in an industry where hedge funds who got billions of dollars can't even survive? But yet people will still sign up for those type of programs, not knowing that the opinion that that's the way to creating wealth. No, you can't create wealth if you don't have ownership of nothing. And if you flipping everything and selling it, how can you have ownership? I know people who are in a worse situation who are real estate flippers than before they got into taking these real estate courses because they hustling backwards. So are you improving? Most people aren't. They're chasing the fallacy of the lifestyle of what they think a real estate investor looks like. I was in a room. I was at an event last night of real estate investors, high net worth. The average net worth investor in that room was it was in the seven figures. You couldn't buy the ticket off Eventbrite. Let me put it that way. It was 2 black people in there. I was one of them. And everybody in there whose net worth was extremely high they all owned some shit. And when we were introducing and we got the dialogue, and one of the things I said was I don't sell any of my houses. And it blew their mind, because let me tell you why it blew their mind. And I actually had a dialogue with one of them offline, because they were like, and I didn't take offense to it, because here's the thing. I don't take offense when it comes to business. Again, motion versus emotion. Put y'all up on that game. I didn't take offense, but they're so used to seeing people that look like us on the bottom level of these opportunities. That's why they assumed I was a flipper. Let me say that again. They're so used to seeing us black and brown people at the bottom level of opportunities. It blew their mind when they found out that I was actually a buy and hold person, and how strong my real estate portfolio was. It blew their mind. It blew their mind. But because people get so caught up in the fallacy of the lifestyle, going back to teaching you how to think. And like I said, in the chapter my son read today, for those who just joined, I'm teaching my son how to critically think. And you can't critically think if you don't know the difference between fact and opinion. And when it comes to money, unfortunately, a lot of black people only have opinions about it because they've never been around people who've had money before. So you are basing your entire decision making when it comes to business on opinions. Y'all gotta forgive me. I get excited about this stuff, especially when I know what's on the other side of this. I tell all of my one-on-one coaching clients, you give me a solid 12 months with you, your life will look completely different. People who I get an honor to hang with, I call them my friends, and I use that term very loosely. Excuse me, I don't hold that regard loosely. I don't just call people my friends or my best friends or day ones for no. I don't do that. I don't even claim having a lot of friends, because I don't. But the people who I do have around me, the people who I'm fortunate enough to allow me to even call them a friend, I tell them, you hang around me, your life will change, just because I'm going to change the way you think hanging around me. Period. I remember I was on a podcast, and one of the hosts on there said, Will, the way you think is intoxicating. And all I just said was thank you. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say after that. Number 4, 7 levels of thinking. Number 4 is cutting. Doing away with things. What are you willing to do away with? What are you willing to do away with? Are you willing to cut off the bullshit in your life? Are you willing to cut off low-level people? And when I say low-level, I'm talking about the way they think. Are you willing to turn the TV off for a little bit? Are you willing to stop watching sports for a little bit if you have to? Unless you're a professional sports bettor or you a coach in a particular sport, you don't have to watch every single game. Now, I'm not saying don't have no entertainment, but it's some shit you may have to cut out of your life to get to the next level. Cutting. What are you willing to do away with? He's speaking of facts, y'all. I'm in this course right now, and I'm already learning how to level my mindset even more. That's where it's at now. Appreciate that, Brian. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Rhonda, appreciate that. You said great teaching. I appreciate that. Thank you. Why you ain't tell me I was on here sweating and shit, yo? All right. Next one. Copying. Doing things others are doing. Doing things others are doing. See, my entire DNA came from watching people who had the life that I wanted to have. People who thought highly, people who moved differently, people who were successful, people who were making money, people who were creating impact, people who were inspiring. And all I did, it's very easy to be whatever it is you want to be. I didn't just want to write books. I wanted to be an author. I just didn't want to be a speaker. I wanted to be a TEDx speaker. I just don't want to be a speaker. I want to be I want to impact rooms and stadiums. I just didn't want to buy houses. I wanted to be a successful investor. I didn't want to just have a lot of money. I want to leave a legacy. My goal became my purpose. I didn't let my circumstance determine my destiny. Copying, doing things others are doing. Next, last 2, different, doing things no one else is doing. This one might sting a little bit. Are you willing to do things that other people aren't doing? If you guys notice, I don't do the shit that everybody else is doing. That's not really my thing. And I'm not doing it because I'm trying to not to be different. I just know I'm different. Period. My impact I want my impact to be differently. Doing things no one else is doing. Next, impossible. Let me go back to different. So I want to share something with you guys. Do you guys know I actually don't even like being called the Credit King? For those who don't know, my first book is called Credit is King. I was one of the first ones that actually started hashtagging that term, and I actually own the trademark. So for all y'all out there who using Credit is King, just know y'all we taking notes. I got a file cabinet of everybody who is using the term credit is king. I own the trademark. Okay, so just everybody's been warned. But I say that to say, when people start saying, oh man, that's the credit, and trust me, I appreciate the accolades and the moniker. I didn't dub myself that. But here's why I say that. Because it puts me in a box. And for a while, it actually bothered me because I felt like it put me in a box. So then what I told myself, I'm going to be different. I was one of the first ones in credit to start talking about business funding and creative financing. I was one of the first ones that started talking about how you get capital to go and invest it into real estate and utilizing creative financing strategies. I was one of the first ones, especially blacks on the internet, doing these things. It's documented. We got the receipts. I've helped probably some of the top influencers that are online right now. I've probably have helped them in some type of way, directly and indirectly. Some of their first amount of capital has come from my company. Some of their first real estate deals came from me. Some of the first strategies that they are now teaching came from what I've done. Because I was different in the beginning. And now you have people trying to piece all of these things together. But I'm going to just go ahead and say it's very few people that could do it the way I do it. I said I wasn't going to get in my bag today. So let me step back out. All right. The last one is impossible. Doing things they said that can't be done. I'm doing something that they told me I couldn't do, y'all. Well, my algebra teacher told me that I'm going to flunk and that I'm probably not going to amount to nothing because I don't know how to do algebra. I'm in a position that nobody thought that could be done. When I was homeless, I'm in a position to where I did things that most people didn't think was possible. I never thought anything was impossible. I've always told my mind that I'm going to make the impossible possible. And now think about everybody on this slide and think about the goals that you've accomplished. And you've already made the impossible possible. Some of you are single mothers who've gotten out of poverty. Some of you are two-time felons who've now started successful businesses. Some of you have lost everything. Some of you family have abandoned you. Your spouse left you. Your kids driving you crazy. You done lost your job, but you've made the impossible possible. You've already done it. So now if you took that exact same mindset and learn how to be effective, how to have efficiency, learn how to improve, start cutting away the bullshit, learn how to copy the right people and be different in your own walk. That's what's going to help you to become successful. So all that other shit that they taught us, that's why it's not working. That's why we stuck in life. That's why we poor. This is why we at the bottom. This is all of the stuff. So they've completely conditioned us to be poor, bottom thinkers, and all this other stuff. No, tonight we're going to raise our elevation, raise the way we think, and we're going to go out there and start talking about life, money in abundance, not just money for lifestyle. It's all about money for abundance. Algebra teachers' math didn't add up to real life. Absolutely. See, sometimes I be wanting to be petty. I be wanting to find my old algebra teacher and send them one of my bank statements. But you know, I'm trying to do better. All right, I'm trying to do better. So y'all pray for me. But if somebody find him, somebody send me his email address. His name was Mr. Ross or whatever his name was. So, but no. So I often come on here just because I'm always moved to my purpose, and my goal becomes my purpose. And there's nights where I can't even sleep because this type of this vibration is within me. And I have to release it. And for a long time I would fight. And if you guys who've been following me for quite some time, I actually stopped going live for a while. But then I told myself, Let me get back to what I know. Because there was a point, I'm not going to lie, I was trying to tap dance like everybody else. But I said, no, I'm going to do things Will Roundtree way. I don't have to get on here and talk about credit every night. I don't have to tell you the Navy Federal hacks. Now I could, because I've done all those things. Let me teach you how to elevate mentally first, because getting the money is the easy part. Period. That's how you can take my brother Crown from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Was told by the age 21 he'd be dead or in jail. And now he probably has over six figures in business credit. He done bought a 4-family. He's renting a garage out, making money. He done bought a brand new car. Like his lifestyle is completely different. His daughter has a successful merchandise clothing line. She had billboards up in Times Square in New York. Like, I'm talking about, like, his entire family dynamic has changed because he leveled up his thinking. He invested in a mentorship and he made the impossible possible. And I know each and every last one of you guys can do that. I appreciate the words on in the live and in the chat. So with that being said, I need y'all to go out there and vibrate high, because it's the weekend. And y'all know it'd be a lot of clown shit out there on the weekend. Especially for people who like to go out. You going on dates, you at the clubs, you at restaurants, you at church, like wherever you going, vibrate high. And I promise you, you're going to see the difference in your radius around you. And you're going to keep a lot of that sucker shit away from you. How can we get the mentorship? Brother Ken Wynn, I'm going to put in the chat how you can go to and book a call with my team to talk about mentorship. So again, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate just y'all rocking out with me and letting me drop, although this is stuff that, is teaching. It's also things that I'm using to inspire you. I'm not trying to motivate you. Motivation is short term, but if I can inspire you, that's something completely different. But the inspiration starts with being up here first. So salute to you, bro. From all your teachings, my life has changed, man. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for your words. Jermaine, appreciate you, bro. Yo, shout out to my brother Jermaine out there in the Philly area. Sometimes Jermaine will shoot me a text message, say, bro, I'm just checking on you. And I'm telling you, sometimes even us individuals who vibrate at the levels we do, we need that because we give so much energy. You know what I'm saying? That 1-500. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, bro. Let me see. I'm new. Where can I get your book? Rhonda, you can actually go to I was about to say eBay. You can go to Amazon. You can pick up my books on Amazon. Credit is King, as well as Full-Time CEO, the shit they don't tell you. You also can get the audio version. So yes, you definitely can do that. You also can go to my website, and I have the ebooks on my website at 50% off. So, if you're an ebook person, you can even get it at 50% off. I think even an Audible version as well, too. Where the energy goes, energy flows. Absolutely. So let's go out there. Let's keep that energy going. You keep me on the right path. 2 bars. I appreciate that. Thank you. This is what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to push each other. And you guys push me, whether y'all know it or not. I wake up highly motivated to go out there to continually doing what I'm doing. And all I'm doing is trying to get the game and bring it back to y'all. So y'all keep me motivated too. So I appreciate that. You are changing the world, Mr. Will. Appreciate that. Those are some big shoes to fill. So instead of saying I'm changing the world, I'm going to just say I'm changing hopefully one person at a time. But no, I appreciate